Do you remember drinking a cup of tea or coffee with your grandmother, your Oma, and your grandfather, your Opa? That felt like home. You had a cup of tea or coffee and maybe a piece of cake. Maybe a Marmorkuchen, a marble cake. But I don't have a cake here. Now, you know what? Let's do a marmor cake, ein Marmorkuchen. Now let's make that Marmorkuchen together, the marble cake. So you heat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit if you live in the US, 180 degrees Celsius if you have the Celsius metric. So then you need a Gugelhupf form, Gugelhupf, and you grease it, and then you fill in some breadcrumbs. And that helps that the cake doesn't stick in the form later. So we carefully put all the breadcrumbs around everywhere. And the excess you can just throw away. So this is your Gugelhupf, and it is prepared for the dough. So now, how do we do the dough? You need butter, 250 grams of butter. You need 4 eggs. And you need sugar, 170 grams of sugar. And you put a little salt in there, just a little bit. And then you need flour with baking powder, 250 grams of flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Then later you need some cacao. Maybe you remember the word cacao. And then you need a little bit of milk, like 40 milliliters of milk, but that's about you to see how the dough is. It shouldn't be too strong, it needs to be fluffy. And then you can add some milk if it is too gluey or so, and to make it a little softer you put in a little bit more milk. So about 40 milliliters. So now let's start with the dough. We will use the KitchenAid, and I will put in the butter. The butter should be soft, like you take it out of the fridge the day before and let it sit there, and it will soften by its own, and then it's ready to go. So this is what the dough looks like with butter and sugar. And now I put in the eggs. I put 1 egg after another. You can loosen it up a little. So your cake, your dough could look like this. This is eggs, butter, and sugar. Sugar with a little salt. Don't forget the vanilla, and put it all in there. So now you can add the flour and the baking powder, and then let it go on. And pour the rest in it too. And now a little bit of milk. And that's it. I don't use all the milk because I think the dough is already pretty liquid or fluid or flüssig. So now the dough is almost ready, and I forgot to put my apron on. So die Schürze, the apron. So ziehe die Schürze an. That might help when you work with the rest of the dough. So now I have the dough, and it is the white dough. So we take half of that white dough and pour it in that form. Backe, backe Kuchen, der Bäcker hat gerufen. Wer will guten Kuchen backen, der muss haben 7 Sachen. Butter und Salz, Eier und Schmalz, Milch und Mehl, Safran macht den Kuchen gel. Schieb, schieb in Ofen rein. So now we spread it all out evenly. And then we take a fork. With that fork, we go in the dough and we go around it. That makes that marble design in the cake. So you can do that as much as you want to. Just a little more. It's just up to you. So, and now we have the dough. Do you know what you did as a kid? I know my grandmother gave that to me, and I could eat the dough. And we siblings, we were fighting over who get most dough on the spoon and who can eat most of the raw dough. I don't know if you still do that today, but that's one of my childhood memories. So the oven is hot, so that's the dough. Let's put it in the oven. Schieb, schieb in Ofen rein. Okay. And now it needs to wait. We need to wait for about 50 minutes, 45. I would check it after 45 minutes. Every oven is different, so check it, make sure it's not burning, but the inside is good and baked. So I take another fork later. I insert it in the cake to see if the dough is done. So now let's wait. Now let's see what this cake has become. That smell, that brings already childhood memories back. So I will check on the cake. Oh, that smell, and it looks so good. So now you just turn it over on a rack and let it cool, and then you can use powdered sugar to decorate it, or you can use frosting, whatever color you like, but it tastes very nicely just without any decoration, just the black and white all mixed together. Enjoy! Leave a comment and tell me what are your best childhood memories. What did your Oma used to bake with you? Share with me. See you in the next video.